I was shocked to see the movie. The Avengers movie begins with its famous intro scene, but it was silent. No theme music to symbolize strength or hope. From the very first moment, it gripped me into the movie. And I literally felt like my heartbeat stopped for a second. Like, what just happened? Where's the music? I had to check the volumes. Were correct. For the very first scene, I like to call it Thanos takes the Tesseract. I'll run through the scene and explain why it works so very well. To kickstart into this amazing movie, an Asgardian refugee vessel is filled with dead Asgardians. An injured Heimdall is shown, and this man named Ebony Maw gives speech while walking among dead bodies. Now the speech he gives is to rejoice while there are dead people all around him. This contrasting ideology grabs attention and also makes us question, how can anyone rejoice when there are dead people all around? Which explains that the story has begun with a villain side. I love that. In this scene, there is Loki, Thor, and Thanos present, and Thanos grabs Thor by his head. He reveals his gauntlet, and the Power Stone shines upon it, which explains that he already holds one Infinity Stone. And we already know how important an Infinity Stone is, so we know he's in power right now. He gives an option, Tesseract or your brother's head. This option is given to Loki, who we know can be quite unpredictable. We don't know if we can trust him at this moment. Obviously, he doesn't make it so simple, and we believe that he has given his brother up to Thanos. And Thor suffers in pain. Loki looks away. We soon discovered that cunning Loki is in fact in possession of the Tesseract, and using his abilities to produce things in midair, he shows the Tesseract. But before it could make its way to Thanos, Hulk makes his grand entrance by hitting Thanos into the wall. After the two big men fight, Thanos defeats Hulk, and what we as audience don't know for sure, Hulk lies unconscious on the ground. Is he dead? No, maybe, we don't know. So far into the story, so much is in favor of the villain, and we are terrified as audience. The situation is grim and gloomy. Story begins with a villain. Good guys, relatively good guys, are lying, defeated. Villain already holds one Infinity Stone and is so close to acquiring the other. And the villain is not aimless. He has an aim. He wants to achieve the other Infinity Stone. So the character has a motive in this scene. And there are obstacles, like Hulk came in the way, but then he defeats him, so now he's so close to achieving his goal. So far, the audience have questions like, what if Thanos holds two Infinity Stones? We already know how dangerous that could be. Prior to this scene, we already have the information. That is very relevant for viewers to actually enjoy this scene, because we are gripping and at the edge of our seats, just waiting to see what will happen next. That is what is making this scene so interesting. And the fact that if he would be successful to hold two Infinity Stones, he will be at a massive superpower and a super strength that no other superhero or Avenger had before. And anytime that the villain is likely to win, we viewers want to know what will happen next. How our heroes, or relatively good guys, will try to save everyone. Now, I'm not trying to be very educative here, but every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We have heard that somewhere, right? So now that Thanos has made an action by defeating Hulk, the relatively good guys have some reaction towards it. Thor is angry at Ebony Maw, who is a servant to Thanos here, and an agent who works for him. He binds Thor. As for Heimdall, he summons the Bifrost. Now, every action has a consequence. When he did summon the Bifrost and sends Hulk away so that he could safeguard him, Thanos has a reaction to that. He decides to, Thanos stabs Heimdall in the chest. Now, Thor, who reacted for Hulk, will also give a reaction, being totally helpless, caged, sitting in one place, unable to do anything. He screams in pain and gives a dialogue. You are going to die for that. This dialogue is important because in the next movie, Endgame, spoiler alert, Thor fulfilled his words and did kill Thanos. Now holding the Tesseract, Eponymous says that Thanos, is now holding two Infinity Stones, which makes him the greatest of all. And Thanos grabs the Tesseract, smashes it into pieces, and reveals the Space Stone. He places it onto his gauntlet, which has two Infinity Stones now, and then he says that two more are present on Earth. He asks his children, he calls them children, he says, go and find them for me. Where now Loki, the only other person present in the room, alive and able to do something and not caged like Thor, he steps in, being cunning, obviously, offers to be of some acquaintance, of some help, says that he can be a guide if you want to go to Earth. He obviously wanted his way out this ship that is totally wrecked and needs a way out of here because now Heimdall will not be able to provide the bifrost since he is no more. So this initial few minutes into the movie, we have already witnessed so much gloom and so much that the villain is in winning situation. We are totally helpless. But now comes one more shocking scene. Obviously, Loki is made fun of by Thanos, that he doesn't even have quite good experience. But then Loki addresses himself. Pay attention here because he slowly steps closer to Thanos. Because as he speaks, he addresses himself. He says he's Odin's son, he's rightful king of Jotunheim. And when he does address himself this way, he is so close to Thanos at arm's length with his ability to conjure things in midair. He secretly has a dagger ready in his hand. And he says something else in his dialogue, like he's going to serve Thanos. But then his actions of keeping a dagger ready prove something else. That shows Loki's nature. And the moment he attacks Thanos, because he's so close to him now, Thanos obviously has the Infinity Stone. He stops him, so Loki is unable. And then Loki is grabbed by the neck and killed. Thor has to watch his brother die before him. And then they leave, Thanos and company, and also enable Thor to be free of his cage. And Thor cries on his brother's chest because there are no resurrections this time. This scene did not have anything good for the heroes, and yet it grips us into the story because we want to know what will happen next. Thanos already has two Infinity Stones, and now we want to know what will happen next. This is just part 1 of my video. Please subscribe if you like all the explanation. This explanation was actually to describe the storytelling principles behind and how one particular scene into the movie can be so engaging and create a roller coaster effect of ups and downs, causing action and reaction and consequences for the action. So simple principles, and yet the story can be so interesting. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. There are so many more interesting stories I'm talking about. I'm currently in the middle of giving book review for Harry Potter, and Lord of the Rings is gonna come up soon. The other stories, mostly MCU stories, so many more are coming up. And if you liked Infinity Part 1, comment below if you want more parts for this video or Endgame movie. I will see you in the next one.